Picture this. You've downloaded a multiplayer game that everyone's talking about. Whether it's Marvel Rivals, the next big thing in hero shooters, Deadlock, a work-in-progress MOBA game that's just released a huge update, or something more quiet from a niche, small indie game developer like 2XKO from Riot Games. But you hit a snag. Who the hell am I going to play? This is the first few things that all players come across when starting a brand new game, and I feel it's quite universal. Substitute what I just said with something you're more familiar with, and pretty much this is the feeling that still very much sticks with you. But what does this mean for you, the player? What does the character you play, the build you select, the role you fit yourself in your team comp says about you? Or well, why did you decide to play this? What does your main say about you? Hi, I'm Meadow. You may not know me, but soon you will. This video is gonna be a little bit more chill and subjective compared to my previous video, but I wanted to go over some of the reasons why we decide to play certain characters in video games. I'll be sticking to my bread and butter, which is, fighting games. But I'll also include some other games that I've been enjoying a lot recently as well. So, let's start off with the basics. What is a main? If you never come across this term, what it means is, well, the character you play the most, and the character that you're the best at. You play other characters or roles on the side as well, but the main is your go-to. It's the one you want to learn the best combos with, the one you want to grind rank with, among other things. But how do you go about choosing a main? Of course, you can just look up a video to see what main fits you best, but in this video, we'll be splitting this up into separate little reasons or aspects of a character or their design that very much made you want to spend the rest of eternity with. Each section will also discuss a main from a game that I play, usually, that fits the section best for them. There are other good amount of mains for reasons why I decided to main them. They kind of interconnect with each other, but for the sake of brevity, I'm just gonna stick with one main for each specific section most of the time. I will also be using terminology that is mostly known in the FGC, so if you don't know much about it and want to learn more, there is a really interesting website in the description that should help you out a lot. Also, side note, outside of one section, I'll be also referring to moves and inputs using the numpad notation. It's probably one of the more universal notation methods in fighting games, and is relatively easy to understand.
What is this? What is 6H? What the hell is 6H? Think of a number pad? How about you think of the light of the Lord and bask in it, and then talk like a normal person?
For most people. So, with that out of the way, let's start off with one section that I think people enjoy the most. If I'll be honest, the personality of a game character makes or breaks a character for me. If there's a character I would have gelled super well with, but their personality wasn't a fit for me, I would have bounced right off them like oil and water. However, there's one character's personality who I absolutely love that I want to discuss. Aki from Street Fighter 6. To put it bluntly, she is a freaky, insane woman. Her insanity and devotion to her own master is something that I love and adore about her characterization, and this insane personality oozes through how she plays, and the animations of her moves as well. One of her signature moves, Sinister Slide, is one where she moves and slides on the ground like a snake, and almost in a weird, contortionist way. Outside of this, she also has a command grab that wraps around the opponent like a boa constrictor, before sliding back down. Her moves also use this snake-like positioning to flip backwards, slide on the fireballs, and flinging herself at you like a torpedo. Her 6 HP makes her extend herself forward to strike with just her fingertips, while her J HP and her J2 HP make her dive into the opponent with either a straightforward stab or a backflip-esque move. Her personality is also shown off with the voice lines on her moves as well. Her little snickers and laughter while stabbing you repeatedly with her poison-laced fingertips. And I can't neglect to mention how much I love her level 3 super, where the animations, voice lines, visual effects go hand in hand with her personality as a whole. Her striking the pain points of the character, slowly poking the last point before the victim is overcome with poison paralysis. And who can forget this banger?
My magnum opus! Did that sting?
I love this freak of a weirdo, and the personality of her is one of the main reasons why I love playing her in Street Fighter 6. She also has the added bonus of having some of the coolest looking combos out there in the game, and she also used to be pretty low tier and then slowly went up and really just like fixing a lot of the issues that they had in Season 1. Speaking of low tier, high tier, top tier, you know, the competitive aspect of fighting games, what if there's a character that's got great personality, but sucks absolute balls? They get absolutely demolished, and there's nothing you can do to stop it because your character is no good. Your anti-airs are bad, you have poor combo structure, you can't properly use the mechanics of the game properly. Well, let me tell you a little bit of a story. On one fateful day in the summer of 2009, 3 men walked down New York City to a local arcade. They were discussing characters from the then recent game, Street Fighter 4. One of them uttered 4 words that still resonate in competitive fighting games and even the wider esports scene 15 years later.
If I pick the top tier, and you know I'm the most prideful motherfucker there is, yo.
Yeah.
If I pick the top tier, just pick a top tier.
Picking a top tier is a viable way to find a main in a fighting game sphere. There's no denying that. Playing a character who has good ways of playing with the mechanics of the game, have great matchup spreads, will make the game far more enjoyable for you compared with someone who is lower down on the tier list. Now, this isn't something that's unique to fighting game. Meta picks is something that's more well known in the general esports world, whether it's the best team comps for a hero shooter, or having characters that heavily abuse a powerful item that the whole game bases its competitive season on. Now there's one game where I decided to just simply pick a top tier, and this worked so much for me, because this character is Nina Williams from Tekken 8. Now, Tekken 8 is kind of in a weird spot right now, from Season 1, where it seems like it was on the up and up, and then Season 2 happened and nobody decided to talk about it at length, and it just kind of faded into obscurity where nobody really talks it about all. Yes, that's 100% what happened. No discussion whatsoever. Just close your eyes. Jokes aside, a lot of my experience from Tekken 8 is from Season 1, so I don't really have any thoughts about the disaster that was Season 2, so we'll be talking about Nina as she was in Season 1. Nina was very strong, and still is for that matter, but while she is a technical character with a lot of moving parts, she also has some really simple flowchart game plan that got me wanting to play the character more often. First of all, you have her back 2-2. Remember the earlier mention about the numpad notations? Well, Tekken 8 and this section specifically, you can't really do that because it'll make no fucking sense. So we'll be using this notation for this section only. Tekken 8's weird. 3D games are weird. The string is a move that can easily punish people for making risky moves. It also tracks the opponent as well, so you can't really sidestep it. If it counter hits you, you can do the third hit to do really good damage for a 12-frame move. And if you use the third hit and you counter hit with it, you can get a pretty decent full combo as well. Then there's down forward 1-2, a string that enables her gameplay really well, where extensions with her 1+2 can lead into a pretty good punish in the current version, but in Season 1, it leads into a full combo. You can also cancel it into either a sidestep or into her command dash that also has extensions of it, like her command dash 1 or in season 2 her command dash forward 1+2. She also has fantastic lows like a really good sweep, good pokes, and a fantastic grab game that enable her to exert pressure. She's also someone who excels with the boogeyman of Tekken 8, Heat, with fantastic heat options and some of the best usage of heat in the game. Now, I like Nina. I enjoy her combo structure, her pressure game among other things, and while I don't play Tekken 8 as much anymore, I still enjoy the more beginner-friendly skill floor that she has, while also allowing for some insane technical combos with her extremely high skill ceiling. Now, I want to make this pretty damn clear, don't play a character that is simply just a top tier. If you don't get lucky with who you pick, you will just view the game as a chore, and if your job is placing well at fighting game tournaments, picking a top tier doesn't really matter in the long run. With this section, if you find someone who you gel with regarding their playstyle, and they're also a top tier, that's just an extra thing to add to the list. This can also go the same way as well. There's many other players who purposely pick low tiers and still have great fun regardless. I know many people just pick like a terrible character and then just absolutely demolish people because they're so insanely technical with the character. Also, speaking of playstyle, so now this is where we're getting into the main focus of this video. This is probably the main reason why you would pick your main. Haha, very funny. Whether you want someone who plays a very rushed down game, whether it's someone who you want to zone with and put 5 billion projectiles on the screen all the time, or simply you just want someone who is fair, reliable, a Shoto, if you will. In this section, I'm going to be going over 3 of the mains that I play in some of the more niche games and their main playstyle, and this being the main reason why I wanted to give them a try. So, let's kick off with BlazBlue Central Fiction, and a weird catgirl scientist character called Coco Noe. She is first and foremost a mix-up and set-play character. She essentially controls the stage using gravitons, which is essentially a magnet that either pushes or pulls herself and the opponents away from her. She can use these in her combos, she can use it in neutrals to get away from certain threat, or in her set play, where she can push them towards certain goals. She's also a very technical character, where she has millions of routes, and there's even some where you need to route into a specific super to get the most damage out as well. I find her very, very enjoyable. I like how you can just fling yourself across the screen and then just not get punished. That's just very funny to me. Also, she just scoots around with a scooter. It's very cute and adorable. Just let her eat popcorn, just do fucked up experiments on you. It's fine. Nothing to worry about. Just let her do what you want. I would. Another character that I vibed with very well regarding how they played is Red Arcurid from Melty Blood type Lumina, or WARC for short. The fuck is WARC? Hold on.
Many months later.
Oh, it basically means Wawi, meaning bad and evil. Okay, that makes more sense. Basically, Red Arcurid is that one image of the dog fucked up version, but instead it's the main character. However, in-game, she's actually a pretty well-rounded character that has really great neutral, great combos, and really good projectiles that enforce Oki situations, and has a really fantastic corner pressure as well. Melty Blood is the game that I have the least amount of experience with, but from the time I've had with her, she was actually really great at controlling the pace of the game with her great air buttons and the good mobility that she has in tandem as well. However, it's not all sunshine and rainbows because her defense is kind of weak, and in the mid-screen, she does struggle to open people up effectively compared to others, but for the most part, I think she's great, and the threat that she imposes on someone is really something I enjoy about her. Also, this is probably going to be the last time I'll talk about it, but there's a character called Dead Apostle Noel, and oh my god, this is the worst fucking design I've ever seen. She's supposed to be like a actual, like, old woman. Like, what the fuck? What did they put in her? Is this what fucking age regressors look like? Moving on, the last character I want to talk about is one that's near and dear to my heart. My queen, my baby girl, Abba. Abba is one of my favorite characters in fighting games, period. However, I will be discussing her depiction in Strife, but a lot of what I can say about her playstyle can mostly be copied onto her appearance in Plus R, or Accent Core Plus R. Abba is what many consider to be a Feast or Famine character. A character that excels at stealing the game away if given the chance, but if she doesn't, you will suffer. You'll suffer so much, and you will be miserable all the time, oh my god. Because of this playstyle, she has two modes. Her normal mode is very slow, sluggish. She does have long-reaching normals, but they're very slow and heavy. Her movement is very limited, outside of a kick that at one point was extremely messed up that the devs had to tone down a little bit, and a command slide that makes her avoid projectiles in certain moves. But when she gets into her Jealous Rage, or more hard mode, for all of you ABBA heads, the words of a certain drag queen from a cult classic rings in her mind.
Kill everyone now!
Basically, if you sneeze towards her, she will basically just kill you in 2 hits. This Jealous Rage mode can only be used in short elemental bursts, due to a meter that she has. The only way she can get it is by hitting the opponent in her normal mode, or by using a hit grab move that allows her to enter and exit the mode at will. This enables a tug of war between her 2 modes, where it's best to use each mode in what situation. Would it be worth going for a kill to use up all of your meter, or would you go for a more efficient option to switch back to normal mode, but allow the opponent to sneak out a win against you? This push and pull gameplay of Abba is something I love so much. In addition to that she is also a freaking insane woman who is boy crazy for an eldritch being that's a giant fucking key. Mood, big mood. Now, let's take apart all of the characters I mentioned and their game plans. You know something that I kind of enjoy characters that allow decent mix-up potential, whether it be a simple strike throw or huge slip play situations. And I also enjoy characters that have huge crazy combos as well. Of course, there are other exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, I enjoy playing characters that allow the game to snowball in my favor once I get a hit in. Also, if you've noticed, a lot of the women I've picked are fucking insane. I guess I have a type. Character design. Whether it's the visual look of the character, the animation, the voices, or the moveset and abilities they have. It's usually a key factor in why the majority of people love the characters that they play so much. There's tons of characters that fit the bill for me that I've already discussed and talked about, and potential future characters as well, hint hint. But the 2 I want to hone in and discuss is Ivy from Deadlock and Squiggly from Skullgirls. So, let's start off with Ivy. Ivy is a very interesting character with a whole background, a cute but creature-like design with some great moveset and abilities that show off her personality. In the lore of Deadlock, she's a stone gargoyle who was turned into a real being and was then taken in by a family and turned to a life of vigilante work. The family in the area that she grew up in was full of Spanish people, so some of her voice lines are indeed in Spanish. The character interactions she has with the rest of the cast also kind of shows off that she has this kind and protective personality. In fact, the wiki states that a lot of the people who fight against her are just like very apologetic when they kill her. the visual appeal of Ivy is great as well. The quote-unquote Ivy that is wrapped around her gun, and while she does look like a gargoyle, she also gives off this very cute and warm vibe to her, almost like a marketable plushie kind of thing. But also, she kind of also used to look like this. So I think that this is kind of an upgrade. I know that there was also a work in progress one that honed in too much in the cuteness, so this current version is actually kind of the best of both worlds, so I'm good with that. Deadlock is also in a perpetual development cycle at the moment, so a good amount of the visual character designs are still work in progress and are either waiting for an update, but with what they have right now, it is fantastic. I love Vindicta's ghostly and utterly worldly appearance, Billy's punk aura, and the visual effects are fantastic. And Grey Talon just looks like an old butch lesbian. Someone on the Valve team better give him a copy of Stone Butch Blues right now. I beg you. Another part of Deadlock I enjoy right now is the wide variety of builds that you can make, and Ivy is simply no exception. She has a huge range of builds that you can go for. Do you want to be a more supportive world? Then you could just simply go for a support build. Do you want to tack on so many debuffs for the opponent? Then why not try a build that focuses on debuffing your opponent? Do you want to become a machine maniac, split pushing like crazy, tearing down the opponents in objective like that's no tomorrow? Then why not try a gun build? Okay, while I was writing the script, they kind of just nerfed the gun build that I used the footage from, as well as some of the stats that she gets that makes the gun build super good. I'm certain she'll still be viable in some aspects with the gun build, but poor timing. Just give me back my machine girl gargoyle woman back, please. I beg you. She's so scrunkly. Please. Okay, I talked enough about Ivy and Deadlock, so let's move on to Squiggly. I think that she is a very cool character. Her design shows a more elegant personality, and her backstory is that she used to be an opera singer, and then when she died, she then got revived by like a parasite. Her and the parasite is shown off in quite a lot of moves and combos, so they kind of work together in a tag team kind of sense. Her backstory as well is shown off in some of her moves as well. Like, she has a special that makes her sing and makes the screen center on her, and one of her super just simply creates a musical note which you can use in combos. Her voice lines also share the background as well, where she used terms like arpeggio and tremolo whenever she used some of her special moves, and I gotta mention the animations. The animations are so damn good, and just simply show how fantastic 2D animations can be, and Skullgirls is like chock full of them. Now, I've discussed a lot of things about the character design, whether it's voice acting, story, visual design, how they play, yada yada yada, but for some characters, there's a little something else. Something a bit more sensual. Alright. It's time to talk about the booty, the race, the muscles, the bongos, the tonga honga cuckoos, the huge bonga honga hoogs. The sexualization of characters is always a driving factor in why some people like certain characters. It's either the soul factor or a huge issue with how women are perceived, depending on how you look at the topic. Now, back in my day, we called this sex appeal, sexualization, but now we just call it Guna bait? Guna slut? Or whatever? Like, I'm sorry, the only Gunas I know and recognize are the ones that support Arsenal. So, while we're on the topic, I have a little bit of a confession to make. I play Zenless Zone Zero. Now, you're kind of in a treat because in the first time in history, you're actually going to be seeing gameplay of Zenless Zone Zero. I know, right? This is incredibly rare. I'm also someone who is quite weird and actually enjoys the gameplay of Zenless Zone Zero, but there is one huge aspect that dwarfs this game among other things, and that is how hot and sexualized some of the characters are. Well, most of the characters, I'd say most. Whether it's the characters with physics that make you go awooga over, the characters that make you feel like they speak to certain tastes, or the fact that their just body parts are just being shoved in your face whenever you try and upgrade your skills. Like, I'm not here to make people play this game or any kind of gacha games. Gachas are inherently predatory, and this is mostly the case of do as I say, but not as I do. But one character I enjoy playing a lot is Jane Doe. I like her a lot. She's a fast character who is an anomaly character, which means you build up a lot of elemental damage through attacking with special moves, and it all culminates in a huge burst of damage. She also has great movement options, and with the right team, she can do insane amount of damage really, really quick. I enjoy her personality, she's very enjoyable, her visual design is top notch as well. I love the outfit that she wears, and rats are cool. I have a personal bias for rats. However, you don't care about that, because probably the first thought you had when I said Jane Doe from Zenless Zone Zero is that goddamn trailer. The trailer that has headphones recommended as the first words you see, and there's so much sexual tension going on. Like, oh my god, Jesus Christ, make it stop. This juxtaposition of me enjoying the combat, story, and gameplay of Zenless Zone while also having that be its main marketing and character design philosophy is something I honestly just can't get my head around. But there's no denying that the sexualization of certain mainly female characters is a key driving point for a lot of these games, and that also goes for fighting games as well. There's so many characters that have their focus on their body or certain aspects of their body, whether it's just the default look, a specific costume, or even a mod that just makes them entirely naked. Of course, there are strides in improving this, so not all of the women are just in bodysuits or whatever, and other fighting games are improving with different body types as well, but no matter what happens, there will be some people who will be attracted, and through that, they end up being the mains. Some of these big culprits of this is, well, Baiken from Guilty Gear Strive, Cammy and Chun-Li from Street Fighter, and so many others. Now, I don't want this section to be sex bad. Puritanicalism is pretty bad in general, but I think there needs to be more different options for other people. Like, I just don't want the default look of most of these women to be things to be objectified by. There are games, especially like Zenless Zone Zero, where a lot of the audience use these women in a sort of a relationship way, whether it's their lovers, their waifus, their wives, or daughter wives? Okay. In fact, there's actually a really great video on this topic by Chrome's New Roman that I recommend you check out as well. With that discussion done, let's just talk about something more chill. How about this is a bit of a niche reason, so I'm not really going to go too in-depth with this, but I think recognizable characters from other IPs bring in a lot of players to certain games to either specifically play them or to see how well the game shows off the characters. Games like Marvel Rivals, Dragon Ball Fighters Z? I don't know. 2XKO, the Marvel vs. Capcom series, and even smaller games like Persona 4 Arena and Blaze Blue Tag show this off as well. You played through Persona 4 Reload and love some of the characters there? Why not play them in Persona 4 Arena? You love playing Jinx in League of Legends or loved her story in Arcane? Then why not play her in 2XKO? This kind of leads to more devout fans of the IP hopping between game to game, showing off their love for a specific character, and guest characters are also pretty strong with this aspect too, like with more recent examples like Lucy from Cyberpunk Edgerunners coming to Strive, the guy from Tekken 8 showing up in Tekken 8, and many others. The list is endless. They get a lot of hype and media attention, bringing a lot of new audiences to the fighting game genre, and even acts as a gateway to finding their real character if the guest character doesn't really pan out for you. So, that's mostly everything, right? We've covered the amount of good reasons of why you pick mains and such, like character design, playstyle, whether they have boobs or not. Well, actually not quite. There's one that I kind of neglected to mention, but it's something that is quite personal to me. What if you relate to a character so much that she ends up being your main?
The town inside me and everyone's voice only.
Whoa, trans woman loves Bridget. Whoa, looks like I found the fork. It was in the kitchen this whole time. In all seriousness, Bridget means a lot to me. She was my gateway to joining the FGC again after a long time away, and playing through the story mode, it kind of just hit me with how I felt back when I was discovering myself. Bridget first showed up in Guilty Gear XX, and while she was initially presented as what we would call today as a femboy, when she made her most recent appearance in Strive, she was kind of struggling with this identity, forcing herself to call herself a man, and in the story mode, she was unsure about this fact or how to address herself properly. It isn't until the end where she finally decides to not hide her true self anymore, and she finally comes out. Without going into too much details, this related to me so much. As someone who tried to push the masculine side to the limits, and it just made everything worse. And when I actually came out, it was freeing, just like what Bridget felt in that moment. Of course, this moment caused a lot of backlash, and even Daisuke, the creator of Guilty Gear, had to come out and say, yes, she is trans, stop being weird about it. Also, I'm an immortal being. I think he said that. I'm not entirely sure. And now, I'm not just someone who played Bridget purely for this story, or the fact that she's just trans. I really love her combos. I love her set play. The mix-up and the insane amount of 50-50s that you can do in a short amount of time, it is wonderful. And I love the playstyle of her. But I would be lying to you if the story and the relatability of Bridget wasn't the main thing that got me back into this game. Maybe someone out there relates to the struggles of a certain character in fighting games. Whether it's someone trying to perfect themselves and hone their crafts. Maybe it's someone who is trying to right their wrongs and lead a better life. Or maybe, just maybe, the character is just cool as fuck. Imagine a character that's bland, no personality, nothing that interests you, not even hot or sexy, but there is one thing that is burning through your head when you see them play. Damn, they're sick. They got the sauce. Well, enter Akatsuki from Under Night in Birth. I know he's not from Under Night in Birth, he's technically from Akatsuki Blind's clan, but he belongs in Under Night in Birth to me personally. He may not look like it, but he is one of my favorite characters to play as. One of the main reasons is simple. He's cool. He's sick with it. His kit shows this off as well. He has a parry that enables some crazy sick comeback. There's some fun combos, especially in the more recent version of the game, and his supers are really flashy. And whenever it hits, you can just feel the hype building up. He is a very simple and plain character. Like, a lot of people would consider him to be a Shoto, but oh my god, he fucking rocks. His character design looks like he's about to beat you to death. I may not be the best at Akatsuki, but I remember back in the day I watched old videos of Akatsuki compilations, where I was just like enamored by the combos, the war skill, and just the swagger that this character held. Whenever I felt down, I'd just sometimes boot up training mode and just do some Akatsuki combos, just beat up the training dummy, and I just feel happy because, well, it was Akatsuki. He's my boy. He's my goat. He's my king. And sometimes I manage to pull off some hyper moments as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Meadow using the move. Meadow, honestly, wake up Itatsu and IW. Oh, bro, IW. It's the first game. Look at the damage. Look at the damage, bro. Look at the damage.
This is why I like fighting games. Clutching victory from the claws of defeat with the most bombastic way that leaves the audience speechless. Akatsuki may be boring, he may be one note, but there's one thing I just simply cannot deny. He is hype as hell. So, I've talked a lot and yapped about my current mains and everything about them, but I think I should briefly talk about the mains that we all drop or left behind. I don't think these get mentioned as much, but maybe the characters you used to play just aren't what they used to be. Maybe the meta forced them out of favor, or maybe they were just a stepping stone to find someone you truly love. Marissa from Street Fighter 6 was just one of these characters. She's strong, she's got a sick design, she also follows in the philosophy of
Kill everyone now!
but since Aki came out, I just simply stopped playing her. Partly because I love Aki way more than Marissa does, and also because when Season 2 came around, Marissa kinda just fell downwards in the tier list as certain characters just simply did her job but better. It's also a similar reason why I stopped playing Bridget in Strive. With the introduction of Wild Assault in Season 3, she kinda just fed into a lot of the win conditions of her opponents, with her damage output being less than favorable for her. The game just simply favored way more into explosiveness and 2 to 3 touch moments. She just simply just couldn't keep up for me. But maybe you had a character that you stood by, but you just could no longer play due to reasons. Maybe the game took a worse turn. Maybe the voice actor decided to just be a fucking freak. Or just anything else, but what I want to say is that it was a part of you. And the joy that you had playing with them will never truly go away. And I just want to briefly touch on like the stereotyping of mains that's so prevalent in MOBAs, hero shooters, and especially fighting games. Now, it's not fair to play someone you like and then be grouped into something that is just a sweeping generalization. Hell, I literally did that earlier in the video. We all do it. There are even some people who actually do their research into these topics, and I recommend you take a look into once you're done with the video. There's like one where it's about gay people and hero shooters. It's very interesting. I think it's something that we need to progress and get over and show them that that's not the case. Like, Bridget players aren't all trans women. Healers or support mains aren't just women or gay men. But despite that, I think there is one stereotype that is 100% true. And that's Johnny players are all pedophiles. That's right, they're all nonces, you know. Ooh, I'm minus 15. Ooh, I'm so punishable. Get a life, get a grip. No, you know what? Fuck it. Why does he not have any nipples? What the fuck is up with that? Oh, you're too smart? Oh, you love baring your chest but not showing them hogs? You know? Fuck you. You know? I know people talk about ABBA 236K all the time, but Vault Deal is even worse. Fuck that move. I hate them. I hate him to death. Why is he surrounded by kids? Isn't that weird? Isn't that creepy? Oh, he's supposed to be saving them. Yeah, that's what pedophiles do. Picture this. Everywhere you go, Johnny, look outside. Johnny, you go to New York. Johnny, you go to Evo. Johnny, you go to Evo, Saudi Arabia or whatever. Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Not the song. That song is good, but Johnny, Johnny, Johnny in general sucks. Kick his ass. Kicks his ass. He will not pass go. He will go directly to jail. Screw him, screw him, screw him, die. I like to apologize for the rant I did earlier. It was careless. I didn't mean anything. I'm sure Johnny players are all nice guys, and I would like to retract my statement that Johnny players are all pedophiles. They are not. I don't have anything else to say, so I'm just gonna end the video, so see ya.
I have the POV right here.
Die!
POV woman in the white.
Now.
White woman be like,
That's it.
yeah.
Wait.
White woman be like,
Be like,
eat hot chip and lie.
just that.
I don't.